let me start with the most basic question. Did you vote for it or against it, and why?
Well, of course, I voted for it. I'm someone that says we've got to keep our government open. As much as I'd like to reduce spending and deal with some of our deficit issues, shutting down the government is more of a childish move. So, of course, I voted for this. We had a lot of crossover. This was a compromise. Truly, we had a lot of Democrats vote for it, most Republicans, but we had a number of Republicans that did not. So this was certainly a compromise bill. The beauty of this now is, and a big accomplishment for Donald Trump, we've now got the budget numbers set for the next 2 years. So this is not only the 2018 budget, but we've agreed on the numbers, not necessarily the details, but the numbers for the 2019 budget, which really takes government shutdown off the table, thank God, for the next year and a half. It lets our appropriators do their job and fill in the blanks, but they've got the numbers to work with. The Democrats have agreed on it, both defense and non-defense. So I think today was a good sign for America. I'm expecting the business community, the stock market should react very positively. And from the next year and a half, we can deal with other kinds of policy issues. And there was something in this for everyone, and there was also something in this that pretty much everyone didn't like.
Congressman, listen, selfishly, I'm glad if we don't have to cover these shutdowns that come up every few months. I mean, if they get sort of boring, there are other things to cover. But at the same time, all of us have to ask, how are we going to pay for this? You said we'd like to reduce the deficit. I think everyone in principle would like to reduce the deficit, but it's sort of like tomorrow, we never quite get to that point.
Well, David, we have to grow our way out of this. You cannot cut our way out of this. We have $20 trillion of debt. We have $20 trillion of GDP. We've been in a trade war for the last 20 years. I'm thrilled to see our president fulfill a campaign promise and hit certainly China with the steel and aluminum tariffs and now additional tariffs. And some folks would say that may create somewhat of a trade war. Well, you know what? We are a net importer from China. It's their war to lose. It's our war to win. And frankly, if this does increase the price on some things, that's a little bit inflationary. We need growth. We need some level of inflation so our children and grandchildren can repay our $20 trillion of debt in cheaper dollars. So I think I like the direction we're going, but we've got to grow our way out of the debt problem. We cannot cut our way out of it.
Why would you say that this is a win for President Trump when he just got a fraction of the funding for his border wall?
Well, it's a win because, A, the government's staying open, B, our defense, which our president's very, very concerned with. Our military's getting a raise. We're getting the proper money for our weapons programs, for munitions that have been depleted. So the big win for us and the president is on the defense side. He got money for border security for the next 6 months, a significant amount of money, not as much as he wanted. Therein lies the compromise. But then again, the Democrats who were focused on the DACA Dreamer issue did not get something in return. So that's a discussion that can be ongoing. When I look at the Gateway Tunnel in New York City, it was a much smaller amount than Senator Schumer wanted. And the monies that will be available to the Gateway Tunnel will be done on a competitive basis. It's not an earmark or anything close to it. So I put that in the win column for the president, but a bit of a compromise as well. So I think when we go up and down, we've got more money for opioids, more money for research. So it was a compromise. And
Congressman, we know that you are also in the House Energy and Commerce Committee. We know that staffers have met with some Facebook executives. What have you heard so far, and do you expect CEO Mark Zuckerberg to make an appearance?
Well, certainly what Facebook did is unconscionable. The FTC, which has jurisdiction, I think is going to come down. We are going to have hearings. I'm on the telecommunications subcommittee that has this jurisdiction within energy and commerce. I think Mark Zuckerberg is smart enough to know he better come. Because if he did not, that would be snubbing, the very committee and those of us who do control regulations as well as legislation. So I do expect he'll be there. I think it's taken him longer than it should have to effectively acknowledge the mistakes, apologize. He's a pretty arrogant individual, let's face it. He's getting his head handed to him. This is one case by Republicans and Democrats, and any CEO in America, especially with a company with a market cap of Facebook, should be very concerned when he has united Republicans and Democrats. Not many folks have been able to do that.